You can tell there's a link between you two by the way she looks at you and the times you've spent together. But when the talks end, you're the one who has to reach out first. Why is that? Why doesn't she do it? Not only does the silence annoy you, but the unasked questions confirm your suspicion that she is also feeling something. The frustration of not understanding what's on her mind can be overwhelming, but there's more to it than that. This isn't just a problem for daters. It's part of a deeper universal pattern in human behavior that you can learn to understand and even use to your advantage. Today, we will explore this dynamic through a blend of contemporary insights and ancient Stoic wisdom, empowering you to transform chaos into clarity and regain control over the narrative. There are a few concepts that require clarification. The illusion of effortless attraction. She sits by her phone and looks at your messages, maybe even smiling at the last time you talked. However, she doesn't initiate a text, because society has instilled in her the belief that the right man will always take the lead in such situations. If you really care about her, you'll pursue her no matter what. It's not that she's not interested, she's been taught that making the first move lowers her worth or makes her seem too eager. For example, Mia has had a crush on Tom for weeks. She loves how grounded and confident he seems, but every time she thinks about texting him, doubt creeps in. What if he thinks I'm desperate? What if he's not as interested as I am? So she waits and waits, and eventually her fear of rejection keeps her silent, despite her feelings. This is where Stoicism comes in. Her reluctance to reach out isn't something you can control. Instead of letting her silence tell you how you're doing, lean into patience and self-respect. Many men mistakenly believe that love requires constant effort, yet relentlessly pursuing someone diminishes your value. People who are strong and balanced attract both women and men. If she truly admires you, your patience and confidence will inspire her to reach out, rather than simply sending you a morning text. Subtle signs that she's interested but hesitant include checking in or starting a conversation when you're not the one. Think of a woman as a pendulum. If you push her too hard by giving her texts, calls, and constant attention, she swings away because she's overwhelmed, but if you step back and give her space, she naturally gravitates toward you. Your silence, when you use it wisely, says a lot about your emotional maturity and confidence. Ultimately, if she truly likes you, she will find a way to compromise, but this won't occur if you're persistently pursuing her or questioning your value. Show that you respect yourself by being patient and sure of yourself enough to act when the time is right. By adopting a calm attitude and focusing on what you can control, you send a strong message. I am sufficient with or without you, and believe me, confidence is the second most powerful force in the world, second only to fear. Fear of being turned down. Unbeknownst to many, women also harbor a fear of rejection, perhaps even surpassing that of men. Society often portrays women as being pursued, but they still fear reaching out to you first. Her silence might seem like indifference. You might think that if she really liked me, she'd say something. However, her hesitation stems more from her fear of rejection than anything else. It hurts women too, and the more she likes you, the higher the stakes feel for her. Let's look at things from her point of view. Women often absorb cultural messages that say they shouldn't be too forward. Even if she likes you, she may wait for you to act first because society tells them doing so makes them look needy or desperate. This doesn't mean she doesn't care, it just means she's human and, like all of us, dealing with her own fears and insecurities. So how do you handle this? Should you always make the first move? Maybe not. While it's important to show interest, you don't want to chase her too much. Instead, try to find a balance. Take the initiative when it's appropriate, but don't allow her silence to diminish your self-worth. For example, if you've already reached out and she hasn't responded, don't feel the need to double text or overcompensate. Instead, send her one thoughtful message and give her space. If she's interested, she'll eventually respond. And if she doesn't, you've kept your cool and avoided needless overthinking. Here's the paradox. When you stop worrying about why she hasn't contacted you, you become more attractive. It sends a strong message that you are calm and steady. I'm sure of who I am and don't need constant approval. Instead of focusing on her silence, work on becoming the best version of yourself. This is where Stoicism really shines. Marcus Aurelius gives advice. Don't waste time arguing about what a decent man should be like. Instead, use this time to develop your strengths, follow your passions, and make a life you're proud of. Not only will this help you stay emotionally strong, but it will also make you naturally more attractive. When a woman sees that you're thriving and confident in your own path, she'll feel drawn to you in a way that goes beyond surface-level attraction. When you radiate calm confidence, you create an environment where she feels safe to face her fears and connect with you, and even if she doesn't, you'll still be able to stand tall, knowing that your worth isn't based on what other people do. Take a moment to think about how this dynamic might be showing up in your own life. Have you ever been annoyed by someone's quietness only to find out that they were just afraid to speak up? With this new knowledge, how might you handle these situations differently now? Share your ideas in the section below. Motivate someone else going through the same thing. Misunderstanding of challenge number 3. Misinterpreted signals. Women don't approach you even when they like you because they're unsure how you feel about them. Yes, women are the same as men when it comes to this. In romantic situations, it's crucial to send clear signals. However, if your actions convey conflicting messages, she may begin to doubt herself. He smiled at me but then didn't follow up. Was I reading too much into it? We had an amazing conversation, but then he seemed distant. Does he like me or not? He texted me, but now it feels like he's pulling away. Am I wasting my time? The truth is, women often struggle with societal expectations and the fear of appearing overly assertive. They prefer to remain silent rather than risk rejection or embarrassment. This is where Stoicism can transform the situation. Point of view. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." In the context of relationships, this statement holds significant importance. As a man, clarity is the key to building trust and relationships. Your job isn't to play games or send mixed messages. It's to make your intentions clear and confidently known. Clear communication doesn't mean being hostile or dumping everything on the table. It just means letting her know how you feel. For example, instead of implying that you want to see her again, say something like, "I really enjoyed talking with you. Tomorrow, let's get coffee. What do you think?" This honest method not only shows that you're sure of yourself, but it also makes you stand out from the many men who use cryptic clues and mixed messages. Some men avoid direct communication due to fear of rejection or the belief that it exposes them to potential harm. Being upfront about your desires makes you strong, not weak. That being said, women like guys who aren't afraid to say what they want. Stoicism teaches us to find a balance between action and patience. While clarity is important, it's also important not to push too hard if she's not sure how she feels or needs time to think about it. For example, if you're interested in her and she doesn't respond right away, don't send her a bunch of follow-up messages. Don't think the worst if she seems unsure. Her silence could be more about her fears than a lack of interest. Think of clarity as a way to get rid of unnecessary problems. Her vulnerability is protected when you're honest about your feelings. If you send mixed signals, she has to work twice as effectively to figure out where you stand, which can push her away. For instance, Clear intentions remove uncertainty and make it easier for her to engage with you. Even with clarity, there's no guarantee she'll respond the way you hope. This is where Stoicism becomes your greatest asset. Ally Epictetus tells us to make the most of what we can control and accept the rest as it comes. If she doesn't respond, don't give up or get angry. You spoke clearly and directly. By staying grounded, you show her and yourself that your worth isn't dependent on their response. When you radiate this mix of clarity and calmness, you set yourself apart from the noise of mixed signals and hesitation, and trust me, that's exactly the kind of energy that brings people closer. This isn't about dominance or control. It's about understanding that if you're the type of man who can step up with presence and decisiveness when a woman pulls away or stops making contact, she's watching how you handle the space. Do you break down under the pressure and try to get her approval, or do you stay calm and take the lead? For example, she used to text you every morning asking how you slept or sending you cute memes to start the day. But one day she stops. Many men who experience loneliness may react in one of two ways. Either they panic and start bombarding her with messages, desperate to reconnect, or they assume the worst, assume she's no longer interested, and completely disappear. Neither of these actions shows leadership or emotional safety. Women don't want a man who either chases them down or fades away. They want a man who can stay steady and take charge, someone who doesn't let outside events shake his sense of self. Instead of freaking out, think about how you'd react. Hey, I noticed we haven't talked much this week. How about dinner on Friday? There's a place I've been meaning to show you. This simple message shows confidence, leadership, and awareness. It shows you're interested, but not dependent, thoughtful, but not reacting, and interested, but not interested. Being a real leader doesn't mean controlling her behavior or making her reach out first. It means being calm when you arrive. When you act from a place of inner stability instead of fear, it sends a strong message that you have authority and purpose no matter what is going on around you. Let's say you and some friends are planning a trip, but suddenly one of them changes their mind. A successful leader doesn't waste time trying to persuade them to stay with the group. Instead, he moves forward with the plan calmly, knowing that others will follow if they see the strength in his choice. The same is true here. When she hesitates or pulls back, don't chase or retreat. Instead, move forward with confidence. Leadership in this context doesn't mean grand gestures or dominating the relationship. It's about being steady, thoughtful, and proactive. It might mean taking the initiative to plan a date, sending a message that reflects confidence, or simply letting her know you're thinking about her without pressuring her for a response doesn't necessarily mean she's lost interest. Often, it's a subconscious way of testing your ability to lead with calm confidence. Will you react with insecurity, or will you respond with grounded intention? As the Stoics remind us, the only thing within your control is your response, so don't react emotionally to her silence. Instead, step up with presence and purpose, and show her that you're the kind of man who can lead with quiet strength. Not because you need her validation, but because that's who you are. What do you think about this perspective on leadership and emotional steadiness? Reflect on how you've handled similar situations in the past. Did you react emotionally, or did you lead with calm confidence? Leave your ideas in the box below, or just type, "I choose grounded intention." Your thoughts might help someone else on their self-worth and overthinking journey, as outlined in point 5. Women and men both overthink their own worth in a relationship. While you might be wondering if she's withdrawing, she could be asking herself questions such as, "Am I enough for him? What if I annoy him by texting him first? Is his love for me as strong as my own?" These thoughts can make her hold back, not because she doesn't care, but because she's full of self-doubt. It's ironic, but it's possible that both of you are overthinking and waiting for the other person to move on. Women are often under a lot of pressure in relationships. People expect women to maintain a sense of self-assurance without becoming overly confident, maintain a friendly demeanor without appearing desperate, and maintain a confident demeanor without becoming overly confident. This constant balancing act can make her feel stressed. Question what she did. Even if her feelings for you are strong, this is where your self-worth comes into play. Women are deeply attuned to the energy you project. If you carry yourself with quiet confidence and a sense of purpose, you naturally put her at ease. Your self-assurance becomes a silent reassurance for her insecurities, eliminating the need for her to overthink or seek constant validation. Imagine you're the kind of man who knows his value, not in an arrogant way, but in a grounded, unshakable way. When you send her a message, it's not laced with neediness or an underlying fear of rejection. Instead, it's simple, clear, and confident, like, "Hey, I really enjoyed our time together. Let's plan something for the weekend. How about that?" Park, you mentioned that such an approach not only advances the conversation, but also conveys a message without words. You don't need to overthink this. I value myself, and I see value in you too. By embodying self-worth, you create a space where she feels safe to let down her guard. Your steady presence provides the reassurance she craves, causing her overthinking to fade. Believe in the link. Overthinking in relationships often comes when both people feel insecure. If you're always doubting her feelings or overthinking her actions, she'll pick up on the stress. But if you choose confidence instead, the whole dynamic changes. The Stoics tell us to only think about the things we can control, like our thoughts, actions, and reactions. You can't stop her from overthinking or eliminate her insecurities, but you can change your relationship behavior by being calm and confident. By steadying yourself, you show that you're not easily upset by doubt or silence. Over time, this steadiness will help her feel more at ease in the connection without you having to explain or prove yourself. Remember that the Stoics taught us that a man who values himself is not dependent on other people's approval. When you follow this rule, you free yourself from overthinking, and you free her as well. The next time you want to question her silence, ask yourself, am I showing her the steady presence she needs? The strength of being away. The truth may surprise you. If a woman doesn't contact you, it's probably not because she doesn't care, but because she's letting the emotional tension build. She might be thinking, if I give him space, he'll miss me and take the initiative. This happens more often than you think. Imagine a man and a woman go on a few wonderful dates. Even though they have strong chemistry and everything seems to be going well, she stops starting conversations after their last meeting because she feels uncertain. He begins to overthink the situation and sends her a series of texts, first to check in, then to inquire if something is wrong, and finally to apologize for the excessive texting. She politely replies, but the warmth between them fades. Fades is unaware that his cool confidence and his response to her silence initially drew her in. She changed how she felt about him because he was needy and talked too much. Instead of giving her time to miss him, he let his fears take over. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not over events. Understand this, and you will be strong." To be stoic, you have to control your feelings and act on purpose instead of instinct. Remember that it's not always about you when she doesn't call. Numerous factors could contribute to her silence, her own worries and fears. Whether she wants to test your stability or just see how much you value her, what counts is how you handle it. Instead of letting doubt take over, consider stepping back and think about it. Use this time to center yourself. A man who can stay cool and collected when things are uncertain is naturally attractive. His stability shows that he is sure of himself. Being independent and emotionally mature. Let your ability to remain calm and collected show her who you are, rather than through what you say or do. When a woman doesn't reach out, it's easy to think the worst, but more often than not, her silence is a way for her to protect herself. She may be waiting for you to make the next move, or hesitating because she doesn't want to seem too eager. The paradox is that filling silence with words or actions makes her miss you less. Silence, when used correctly, creates intrigue by giving her time to think about what she values about you and feeling the absence of your presence. When you stay quiet, you're not playing games. You're showing respect for her space and for yourself. You're sending a message that you're confident enough to trust the process and strong enough to handle the unknown. Think about how different things feel when someone stays calm. Under pressure, isn't it attractive? That's the energy you want to project. Men who exhibit emotional stability tend to attract women. After discussing the power of absence, let's consider your feelings. The next time she doesn't contact you, resist the urge to react quickly. Instead, take a deep breath, focus on your own growth, and trust in the connection you've made. Let your calmness and strength speak for themselves. In the end, it's not your pursuit that will draw her in, but your ability to stay steady, grounded, and unshaken. Think about this idea. Have you ever been through something similar? If so, how did you react, and what did you learn from it? Leave your ideas in the box below, or just type them in. I'd rather have peace than chaos. Your insight might inspire someone else to embrace their inner Stoic side. Putting women's mental safety first is the seventh thing we need to do. When it comes to putting mental safety first, an essential component of any genuine bond is trust. Not only does it matter how much you care about her, but also how safe she feels telling you her deepest thoughts, feelings, and fears. If she thinks that your actions, emotions, or how you treat her aren't consistent, she will naturally be hesitant to open up. This is not due to her disliking you. She may have a genuine fondness for you. Rather, she is uncertain as to whether you will be responsible with her heart. Women seek a partner who they can rely on and who is stable, and until they receive these qualities from you, initiating contact or fully opening up may feel too risky. Let's say you're getting to know someone and things are going well. Then, a minor disagreement or the unexpected breakdown of a plan occurs. How you react in that situation says a lot about you. If you act angry, impatient, or inconsistent, she will know that you might not be the steady person she needs. On the other hand, if you stay calm, collected, and understanding, she will know that she can trust you to handle problems without losing control. Being strong doesn't mean being stronger than someone or taking control of a situation. It involves instilling in her a sense of safety and calm, akin to a rock that remains stable despite the force of the waves. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Be like a rock that waves keep crashing over, it stands unmoved." This type of presence instills in her a sense of trust and emotional safety. Start by keeping your promises, no matter how small, because reliability is important. Next, pay attention when she talks, so she knows that her thoughts, feelings, and experiences are important to you. Finally, be consistent with your behavior, because sending mixed signals or sudden changes in energy can make her doubt your intentions and break the trust you're trying to build. When a woman experiences emotional safety with you, she ceases to shield herself or maintain composure, instead embracing the connection, confident that you won't criticize her flaws or respond wildly to her feelings. This level of trust makes her more willing to share more of herself and feel free to reach out. Imagine the feeling you get when someone close to you is dependable. Their steady, understanding support is there no matter how your day goes. Women gravitate towards a partner who instills mental security and consistency in them. Women are very intuitive, and they notice the little things you do or don't do. If you say one thing and then do something else, or if you react too quickly, it creates an emotional gap. But if you show her through consistent actions that you're steady and trustworthy, she'll start to see you as a safe space in her life. Attraction is simple to spark, but it rarely lasts without emotional safety. Women value emotional safety with you more than short-lived chemistry. When you show her through calmness, dependability, and empathy that you are a man she can trust, it strengthens her bond with you. Emotional safety doesn't happen overnight, but with time and effort, it becomes the basis of something truly meaningful. Eighth, let your deeds speak louder than words and be her safe harbor. She'll naturally lean into the bond you're making. Avoid what you see. How to avoid perceived imbalance. Women who feel imbalanced often worry about how fragile the balance is in a relationship. They learn from society, and sometimes their own pasts, that being too interested in someone could be seen as desperate or too available. Imagine what she's thinking. If I text him first, will he lose respect for me? Will he think I'm chasing him? This thought process can make her hesitate to reach out, even if she really wants to. Let's put ourselves in her shoes and remember a time when you liked someone but didn't want to seem too eager. It's not about having fun, it's about keeping people safe. Her silence may be to protect her relationship self-worth, not you. Picture this. Jake and Sarah have been on 2 wonderful dates. Sarah has a deep affection for Jake, so much so that she often reflects on their conversations, questioning whether she appeared overly interested. She wants to text him, but she doesn't because she's afraid Jake will see her excitement as desperation. On the other hand, Jake is at home staring at his phone, wondering why Sarah hasn't reached out. He thinks her silence means she's lost interest, but in reality, it's just a way for her to protect herself from feeling vulnerable. As Marcus Aurelius said in Meditations, you control your mind, not outside events. If you understand this, you will feel stronger. Stop worrying about why she isn't texting you and focus on your actions, mindset, and ability to lead confidently and clearly in relationships. Focus on building a connection where effort flows naturally from both sides instead of keeping score or playing games about who texts first or shows more interest. When she feels that the relationship is based on mutual respect and trust, she'll feel more comfortable expressing her interest. One person texting first means the other must text next time, according to a common misconception. This rigid mindset leads to second-guessing and unnecessary tension. What matters is making an environment where both people feel safe and valued. Let me show you how to do this. Let's say Jake chooses to be calm. Instead of worrying about Sarah's silence, he tells himself that what she does doesn't define his worth, and he sends her a casual, thoughtful message. Wow, I still remember that amusing story you told me the other day. You have such a wonderful sense of humor. Jake's message accomplishes 2 key objectives. It demonstrates his confidence in his ability to reach out to her without requiring her intervention. It also tells Sarah that he values her for more than just being available. This is quiet, but powerful. When someone leads, they often get the other person to easily follow suit. It's important to focus on what you can control in relationships instead of trying to figure out why someone isn't texting you. If she really likes you, and her hesitation often means she does, your calm, secure energy will encourage her to lower her guard, because she'll see that you're not just someone who waits for her to act, but someone who's willing to take the lead with kindness and respect. So the next time you're staring at your phone wondering why she hasn't texted you, take a deep breath and text her if you want to. Instead of acting out of frustration or fear, Act because you cherish the connection and understand that genuine effort is never in vain. What do you think about this point of view? Have you ever found yourself overanalyzing someone else's silence or being afraid to take the first step? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to learn about your experiences, or simply write them down. Effort flows when confidence leads to affirming your commitment to a more confident, balanced approach in relationships. Your insight could inspire someone else to take a bold step today. Number 9. Uncertainty about timing. Finally, timing is everything. The right time to reach out is often uncertain for women. They overthink it and don't do anything. Timing in relationships is a lot like chess. Both people are waiting for the best move, the best time to connect, because they're afraid that if they act too soon or too late, it will ruin everything. This is especially true for women. This internal debate can become paralyzing. She might think too much about simple things like how long it's been since you last talked, or whether her message will ruin your day. These doubts usually stem from wanting to keep the connection without risking rejection or coming across as too pushy. Epictetus said that our judgments about things bother us, not the things themselves. Rather than the time itself, her hesitation is about what it means to her. This is a chance to use Stoic wisdom. Instead of worrying about when she'll reach out, think about how you can make a space where timing feels natural and unforced. One Stoic principle that applies here is to act decisively when the time is right, but never rush. Giving her space shows that you care about how she feels, but when you think it's time to talk, lead with confidence and clarity. Your actions will set the tone and make her feel less unsure. If you've done your part by being honest, polite and clear, then be patient. Stoicism tells us that trying to force results often backfires. Instead, stay confident and calm as you let things happen naturally. Bear in mind that her silence doesn't mean she doesn't think you're worth anything. It's usually a defense against her own fears. Balance is the key here. Allow her to process her thoughts and feelings, but don't leave the connection solely to chance. By combining patience and intentionality, you foster an environment where she feels respected and valued. A Stoic man is calm and confident, not because he knows the outcome, but because he's prepared for whatever comes. Epictetus reminds us, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest. As it happens in this context, what's in your power is how you communicate and show up. What's not in your power is her response, so don't dwell on it. Instead, trust that if the connection is real, your steady presence will make her feel more secure over time. By showing her that you're steady, respectful, and clear about your intentions, you make it easier for her to step out of her comfort zone. So, if you're feeling frustrated by her silence, take a step back. Ask yourself if you've done your part. Then let go of what's beyond your control, and when the moment feels right, don't hesitate. Reach out with calm confidence, because sometimes the most attractive thing you can do is show her that you're steady self, assured and ready to connect when she is. Thank you. Conclusion. Relationships can be like a puzzle sometimes, but knowing the dynamics behind silence can help. As we've seen today, having a Stoic mindset in relationships isn't just about staying calm. It's also about leading with purpose, knowing your own worth, and building a connection based on mutual trust. Keep in mind that her silence may be due to her own insecurities. The most important thing is how you react. If you lead with clarity, confidence, and mental stability, you show her and yourself that you value self-respect and deep connections. Pay attention to what you can change. Be calm, clear, and deliberate in what you do. Real attraction doesn't come from chasing or playing games. It comes from knowing your worth and giving her a safe, balanced place to meet you halfway. If this video resonated with you, please show your support by liking it. I'd love to hear what you think. What did you like most about today's video? Leave a message below and let's keep talking. Also, before you leave, watch the videos on the screen. They're full of useful information that will help you learn more about relationships and personal growth. You will never miss a new video if you click the subscribe button and turn on the alerts. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.